In this problem, we're going to be finding the time given the exponential function with base e that models a real-world situation. Okay, so we're going to round our answers to the nearest tenth, and we're not going to round anything in the middle of the problem, in any intermediate computations. All right, so first problem. Boris places a bottle of water inside a cooler. As the water cools, its temperature, C of t, is in degrees Celsius, and it's given by the following function, where t is the number of minutes since the bottle was placed inside the cooler. Okay, so we have C of t equals 4 plus 14e to the negative 0.05 t. Boris wants to drink the water when it reaches a temperature of 12 degrees. How many minutes should he leave it in the cooler? Okay, so we know from the problem the temperature is C of t, and we want that temperature to be 12. So what we can do is replace this C of t with 12 and solve for t. So we will say 12 equals 4 plus 14 e to the negative 0.05 t. Okay, then we want to solve for t. So the first step, subtract the 4 from both sides. That'll give you 8 is equal to 14 e to the negative 0.05 t. And then you divide the 14 on both sides. So that will give you 8 over 14 is equal to e to the negative 0.05 t. Okay, so in order to get rid of the e in this thing, we're going to apply an ln to both sides. So we'll just stick an ln in front of both sides. And we know that when an e and an ln touch, they cancel each other out. So on the left side, we get ln 8 over 14. Could be reduced if you want to, or you could just leave it alone. Equals equals negative 0.05 t. Okay, and we can divide that, and that will complete the process of solving for t. Divided by 0.05. Okay, so we know that t is equal to ln of 8 over 14 divided by 0.05. Okay, and it does say put in terms of, put it as the nearest tenth. Okay, so that means they want us to type it into the calculator, which we will. Ln of 8 over 14 divided by, I think I forgot the negative there, didn't I? Divided by negative 0.05. Okay, so it's 11.19, or t is equal to 11.2 minutes. Okay, let's look at the next problem. We've got the number of bacteria, P of H, in a certain population increases according to the following function, where time, H, is measured in hours. We've got our function here, P of H is equal to 2400 e to the 0.16 h. How many hours will it take for the bacteria to reach 3200? Okay, so we know that the number of bacteria is P of H, and we want the bacteria to be 3200. So we replace P of H with 3200 and solve. 3200 is equal to 2400 e to the 0.16 h. Okay, we can first divide this. And if you want, you can cancel out a couple zeros, right? Make it 32 over 24. You can even cancel it more than that if you want, or not at all. It just makes it to where you have to type smaller numbers when we get the final answer. Okay, so 32 over 24 is equal to e to the 0.16 h. We apply an ln to log base e. We apply an ln on both sides, and that gives us ln of 32 over 24 equals 0.16 h. If we divide by the 0.16 h, or not the h, just the 0.16, then we can type that into our calculator and get an answer. Okay, so we've got ln of 32 over 24 divided by 0.16. Okay, so remember nearest tenth, so we round that up to 1.8. So h is equal to 1.8, and I believe it was hours. Okay, last one. Suppose the velocity v of t is in meters per second of the skydiver falling near the Earth's surface is given by the following exponential function, where t is time after diving in seconds. Okay, so remember the velocity is in meters per second. So we've got this, v of t is equal to 55 minus 55 e to the negative 0.24 t. And we want the velocity to be 38. This is the velocity. This is 38. We want to set 38 equal to v of t. So replace it. Here's the rest of the equation. Okay, so we subtract a 55 first. 38 minus 55. Let's see, that would be 17, negative 17 equals negative 55 e to the negative 0.24 t. Divide the negative 55. Remember, they're both negatives, so that will make a positive. So we get 17 over 55 is equal to e to the negative 0.24 t. We apply an ln to both sides so that the e cancels on that side. So that gives us ln of 17 over 55 equals negative 0.24 t. If I divide both sides by negative 0.24 and put that into my calculator, ln of 17 over 55 divided by negative 0.24. Okay, so that gives me 4.89, which rounds up to 4.9. So t is equal to 4.9.